Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Murdoch DeFi YouTube channel. And boy, oh boy, once again, we have plenty to talk about in today's video. And first, I kind of want to preface this video with um, kind of something that is important to understand, right? I feel like day to day within our personal lives, and more so even in Drip, a lot of us operate out of what's called confirmation bias, where we're typically only watching content. If we're bullish on stablecoin, then we're looking out and watching videos that talk about bullish news for stablecoin, or not stablecoin, stable fund, sorry. But the same can be held true for all the other projects that we are participating here in the DeFi space, right? And one in particular that seems quite to be the topic of debate is Drip Network, which I wanted to touch on a little bit today. I know I've mentioned it briefly in past videos, and people wanted me to kind of give my reasoning for or my general consensus on where I see Drip going. So we're definitely going to talk about that in today's video towards the end of the video. So definitely you're going to want to make sure to stick around because we're going to touch on some very, very important topics as they pertain to Drip Network and, of course, the release of the Animal Farm coming up here in just a short couple of days. But as of always, we are also going to touch on Stable Fund. I have been doing some things based on what I told you guys I was doing in the last video. Also, Wealth Mountain made a video a couple days ago about them. We're going to check in with them, see how their contract balance is going. Like I said, Drip Network as well. Then we'll touch on Horde and Optimus and what my plan to create the most revenue for myself on a day-to-day basis is moving forward. And again, guys, this is just what I'm doing in DeFi. By no means am I telling you guys to participate in these protocols. If that is the information that you're taking away from this video, then I highly recommend you not watch my videos, right? That being said, let's go ahead and jump into Stable Fund. Obviously, here with Stable Fund, we got a new updated UI, which it's cool. I do like the fact that we don't have to use the little calculator button and we can just see our total deposits and our claimable right here as far as rewards go. Everything is kind of cleaned up and put into, one screen without having to click through to a bunch of buttons. So, I mean, I appreciate that. I know that was something that they were working on for some time and they've delivered on. And that's one thing that I've grown to appreciate about the Stable Fund team is that they put stuff out on the roadmap, and for the most part, it's getting done, right? Now, I still do believe that they are going to be, I think they've shifted from doing an event in Dubai where they're showing off the trading bots trading to doing an AMA. I think that the timing of that event kind of correlated with, I believe maybe the World Cup, some soccer event. But regardless, so it would have been very expensive for them to go ahead and do that. So I believe that they've switched over and have now decided to essentially host an AMA where they show off the bots and how they're trading. Now, obviously, that's going to be extremely bullish for Stable Fund, but it's also funny too because once they do come public with that, I'm sure that there's going to be people that don't believe it or say that it was fake or blah blah blah. So it's always take that stuff with a grain of salt and make your own decision based on the information that you've been given. And again, this goes back to that confirmation bias, right? It's easy to jump in a Telegram or a Discord where everybody's bullish about the project and hop on that same wave. And then you become kind of blindly optimistic to the fact that things are going on behind the scenes. Not saying that that's going on with Stable Fund currently, but I think it's important to also seek out views of people that, again, might be bearish on a project or might think something's a scam or a Ponzi, blah, 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 and get their information so that way you can form or you can have an informed decision or an opinion without only being biased on the good things, right? So, Stable Fund, getting into the numbers here. Total deposit, it shouldn't be different from the last video I made. I have not compounded at all. We're looking at $41,236 in BUSD. And I'm not showing my numbers to brag. I'm just showing you what's working for me and how I'm choosing to go about it. So 41K total deposited. I just claimed this morning. It's making about $1,618 a day. We got 125 claimable. And what I have been doing is I have just been taking out my daily, my daily withdrawal. So I'm taking out this roughly, I mean, I don't do it exactly at the same time, but every morning I come in here and I claim $618-ish. And that's what I've been doing. So now you can see here in this wallet, we got a little over $8,500 in BUSD just sitting here. And you can see that the big lockup that I had of, well, it was about $30,000 roughly. 20,000 here, 10,000 here, and that's on the same day. Those are getting ready to be unlocked tomorrow. And then what I'm going to be planning on doing is taking this money here after tomorrow's claim, and I'm going to be sending that back to my my regular wallet and taking profits there. So the plan after that is to then start compounding every day and hopefully get to a point where making roughly about $1,000 a day BUSD. Again, I've taken a little bit of the risk off the table by going ahead and cashing out close to 10 grand. And now there's even less risk because these deposits will be unlocked, so I can go ahead and come in here and withdraw them at a moment's notice if I need to. It makes me feel a little bit more safe and a little bit more secure. But that is what I'm going to be doing after tomorrow's claim once those are unlocked. Again, I'm going to be compounding daily that $618, and it should grow, I mean, rather quickly, looking at like $10 to $15 a day every time I compound. And then obviously that number gets increasingly larger as time progresses. Okay, Matic. Same thing over here on Matic. Well, not same thing. I've actually just been compounding. Total deposit 2834. Again, I'm not heavily invested on the Matic side of things. I went for the less risky of the three options and put the majority of my capital in the BUSD contract. Same with BNB. I'm only farming gas tokens here. So that's what I'm doing. Total deposit is 1 BNB, so not very much. I can go ahead and be able to claim these, but I haven't done so. So I've compounded a couple times, but that is about it as it pertains to stable fund. So that is the plan moving forward with stable fund, simply just withdrawing my rewards every single day and then recompounding that back into the protocol to get to a point where I'm earning $1,000 a day. And then I will hopefully be able to take profit for 30 days and be able to be relatively risk-free because I've taken all my initial capital back out. That is the plan. Okay, so moving on to Wealth Mountain. I know I made a video, Ponzi Patrol video, and I knew that it was going to be quite the topic of debate. And again, like I said in the previous video, Wealth Mountain is something that I'm actively invested in. Number two, I do know that the team, the Wealth Mountain team, has been very transparent about the fact that this is a Ponzi at first. In my opinion, I just don't think that these contract balances are going to survive for the length of time that it's going to take to get the treasury to a point where it can outperform the TVO. That's my opinion. I think that that's pretty reasonable opinion. We will see what they choose to do with the V2 migration. I don't think that there's too much information as it pertains to the V2 migration stuff yet. If you do have any information, and let me know down below in the comment section. So let's go ahead and jump into the contract balance. So as you can see here, the last video I made, this was at about 12,000. We're looking at $1,400 now. So Phantom is for sure on the way out pretty soon to head to the contract going to zero and then eventually migrating to this V2 version. Ethereum at 120K, and then Binance or BUSD at 1.8 million, almost 1.9 million. Now, if we look at some very interesting things that have happened over the course of time since I put the last video out, when I put the last video out, it was on the day that the contract balance had dropped significantly. So we're going to go ahead and pull up the Dune analytics for the BUSD contract and look at kind of what's been going on with this contract TVL. So I think I made the video here. Let's see, on the 6th, where the contract balance had dropped like over $330,000. The following day, lost another $426,000, and then $78,000. And then things started to pick up a little bit with the daily TVL changing over the last couple of days by 100, going up like 130. Let's just say 138 here, and then today is the 10th, correct? Yep. So today up $17,000 already. So that's cool to see. And that, look, because I made that video calling this a Ponzi, clearly calling it what it is. I'm not trying to be negative. And apparently, other people are still getting in. At this point, if I could go back and I wasn't invested yet and I saw these numbers, it would be very hard for me to sell myself on the fact that I should jump into this protocol, knowing what's going on, not only behind the scenes, but as you can see here with the TVL value decreasing. So I'm still standing firm on my position that I probably wouldn't recommend that anybody jumps into this if you're not already into it. And for those people that are in it, like myself, I'm constantly monitoring this contract balance. And if it gets to a point where it is less than $1 million, then I'm going to be claiming my funds. We can go ahead and go back to Wealth Mountain and look a little bit at what my current position is. So again, put in 5,000, lost $500 for the 10% tax. You're looking at my total earnings of just shy of 13%, about $580. So we've kind of gotten to the point where we have made up for the 10% tax there. You can see here that we have been almost staked for 13 days, and our unstake fee is now 8% instead of the 10%. So still we got about 10 more days, give or take, to get to the point where we're earning 2% a day. But this is something that I'm monitoring multiple times throughout the day just to kind of check in, see how the balance is doing. And also just wanted to keep you guys updated if you are actively invested and you don't have the time to stay on top of all this stuff and the updates. So let us next talk about Horde. So since I made the last video going over all these projects that I'm invested in, Horde has done some cool things. They have gone ahead and launched their zombie NFT. And to be honest, when I look at the numbers of what this will typically generate in terms of yield, they're not great. But I do understand that this is a tool that is helping increase the liquidity management, where more funds are going to the liquidity manager to help stabilize the price. Again, I'm gonna state my concern last time is that I hope that they're not putting this out because they are worried about the because they're worried about like losing the peg, right? And I don't know if that is the case. I've looked at the numbers, and everything looks fine. And they are continuing to mint. I believe they've minted just shy. I think. Well, let's see. They have 6,168 left. So they minted about roughly 4,000 of them at $400 per NFT. I did mint one myself, and I think I got this rarity 18 one. So nothing super rare. So again, you're earning yield based on the rarity of your NFT. So since this is not I think it's like a level 2 one, I believe. And it's earning, I think I looked at the calculator from somebody within the community, and if they mint out completely, this is like one that would could produce like $40 a month or something like that, right? Based on some estimates in terms of returns and how much capital that they're going to be using to trade with when it comes to the actual bots. So, but for me, I just wanted to get in here and get an idea for how this is going. I think it's relevant to some things that I'm doing, and yeah, this is kind of like a learning process for me, and it's kind of cool, right? The first of its kind. So that is how that's going. If we go back over to the dashboard here, you can see that I've just been doing the same thing that I said I would do when it comes to stable fund. Post my last video and going ahead and just accumulating the yield that I'm earning every single day, claiming all those and just letting them sit in my wallet. And then starting not tomorrow, but the following day, I'm going to go ahead and send these tokens back to my wallet, sell them, take some profits, taking some risk off the table, and then going ahead and starting to recompound again. So that is the plan here. Again, just getting into times where I'm willing to take a little bit more risk, and getting into times where I'm not willing to do that, depending on what the market is doing in totality. And that's how I'm choosing to go about this. And I think that that's a pretty reasonable way to go about things in terms of like not only making sure that you're getting a good return on your investment, but also to help minimize some of the risk by taking profits early on, getting to a place where you're more or less using house money and then being able to compound. And if the project, like these ones have been sustainable for months and months and months, then there's no reason, hopefully, that it can't continue to sustain and get us to a point where we're just playing with house money, right? And that is obviously the goal there, right? And that is everything that I wanted to cover on Horde. Now, moving over to Optimus, I know that a couple things, right? They just recently got listed on MEXC, and you can be able to kind of use that arbitrage. I don't think that it's really worth it right now. I think that the MEXC price is kind of right in the ballpark, maybe like a penny difference. So if you want to go through all that, sending wrapped OPT over to MEXC or vice versa, and being able to take advantage of those arbitrage opportunities, unless you're using like a massive amount of capital, it's going to be kind of challenging to find a good opportunity in terms of arbitrage right now. Now that might be different down the line. In the beginning, when the price was way up over $1 or $2, I think it was like $2.25 up there. Then sure, maybe you could. I did go ahead and buy some wrap OPT on MEXC as well, so I'm just holding on to that right now and receiving that 1% a day over on the centralized exchange. But I did go ahead and take a lot of profits on OPT2. Essentially what I did is I pulled my initial investment out, and now I'm just free rolling with about $5,000 worth of OPT2. And I drew this line on the actual charts here, because this is where I'm setting a bunch of buy orders right around the $1.40 range. If we end up getting to that point, then that is typically a price where I would like to accumulate some more tokens and then ride it back up. Now, obviously, looking at these transactions, this is very different. The transactions down here look very different from when the last time I made my video, when we talked about all the grid trading bots that are trading OPT2 through alchemy trades. And I know that for a lot of people, they have actually gone and stopped trading OPT2, and they have moved on to trading other pairs that are more profitable for them with larger swings, which I totally understand. So I myself am still currently trading with my grid bots with about $5,000 of capital as well there, just to help support the charts, really. But you can see, just looking at the transaction, that there's a lot less of these grid bots working. And I'm not saying that that's direct correlation with the price coming down. But for me, just looking at the at the price decrease from where it was up here around $1.55, now down, as low as, $1.42, $1.43, $1.44. I decided to take some risk off the table for now, and was sold at like $1.48. And again, I'm looking back for a good entry price around $1.40. So that is my plan with Optimus. Again, just looking to accumulate a bunch of tokens around this range, and then we will see what the future holds. I know that DeFi Dude just put out a video, I believe earlier today. I haven't had a chance to watch yet, so definitely looking forward to that, and see what they have to say about things moving forward, and what's to come. I know that they're making a big marketing push, so hopefully that will help the price as well. But yeah, that about covers everything that I wanted to talk about as it pertains to OPT2. Now let's jump over to Drip Network, and let me grab some water. Drip is very interesting. There's so many Drip maxis, and this is why I preface this video with the fact of, like, if you're just solely invested into Drip, it becomes so hard or so easy to have this blind optimism for everything that Forex Shark is doing, right? But the reality is that Drip Network, the Drip token, is printing or is minting so many tokens so rapidly that they're really having a hard time maintaining a price, right? If you look at the price right now, it's at $5.58, and it was struggling to fight that $7 range for a long time, and the amount of volume that it had, that the protocol had to bring in to make up for how many tokens they were minting, was absolutely insane. And we're seeing what is happening now, and people I know, they're like, well, Drip is going to pump. Drip is going to pump when Animal Farm launches, and even if it does, there's some pretty interesting things to think about. If the price does, pump up a little bit, it's not going to be anything crazy. We're never going to probably see new all-time highs ever again. And this is my opinion. You can choose to agree or not. But if you look at, let's see, Drip token, you're looking at 2.54 million. I watched a video from OX Doctor back, I believe, on October 3rd, so just 7 days ago, and this was at like 2.2 or 2.3 million. So the drip token is minting like crazy. But let's go ahead and look at some Dune analytics. And this is one thing that kind of scares me here, is this number here. So the balance in wallets. So these are people holding drips in their wallets, waiting for, they could be waiting for a couple things, right? They could be waiting for the Animal Farm to launch so they can pair it with BUSD or BNB or whatever that the pool actually ends up being, and they can participate in the Animal Farm that way. But it's also makes you wonder, like, well, okay, well, what if these are people holding out drip tokens because they believe that drip is going to pump around the time of Animal Farm launching, and they're just holding all these tokens in their wallet to be able to dump. That's one thing that kind of scares me, and that's important to look out for. Also, if you come over here to dripnetwork.ca, you can see today's deposits, 37,000, almost 37,100 drip deposited today, but you're looking at 85, almost 85.3 thousand drip claimed in just today. And in my opinion, there's no way that this could ever be sustainable. And realistically, we're probably going to see drip back down, or getting to the point where it's under $4 a drip token. And I never thought that, as an active investor myself in drip, if we look over at the faucet, 1.7K deposited into drip, and I've been in since the first pump, since before the first pump, before all the farms came out, the Mana Farm, the Animal Farm. Like, I've been in the protocol for a very long time now, and it just kind of it sucks to see people like not not see the bigger picture and what's going on here. They're just bullish for the fuck of being bullish, it seems like. Or they listen to Forex and they get all hyped up. But the reality is that Forex is taking an insane amount of time to do these, to like even roll out this second version of Animal Farm and the dogs contract. That I think that a lot of people are going to be let down when it launches, and that's just my personal opinion based on what we've seen in the past. And you could choose to accept that, or you could choose to deny it. But the important thing is that it's okay for us to have differing opinions, right? It's okay. And by all means, like I said, I'm invested into Drip. I'm invested in Animal Farm. I hope I'm wrong, but I really don't see that as a likely scenario. But that's just being a realist and not just being bullish for the fuck's sake, right? That being said, I do know that Forex has been doing some marketing, and shout out to Chasing Financial Freedom here on YouTube. He just put out a really good video kind of talking about some of the marketing that Forex Shark has been doing. And I know that he's been doing, for one, he's been doing his AMA runs again, but it kind of sucks because he's doing AMAs with the same people that he did them with last time. People that are already invested in Drip, who've already exposed their community to Drip Network and the Animal Farm. So it's like, well, really, what is that doing? It's hard to say. Also, they've gone on this huge Twitter run of hiring Twitter influencers, but if you look at it, for the most part, it's just people or these Twitter influencers put out these tweets talking about the Animal Farm launch. And when you look at the comments on the tweets and the retweets and the likes, it's just by people within the Animal Farm community and the Drip community already. And if you look at other tweets from these same Twitter influencers, their basic tweets get like maybe a handful of likes and maybe a handful of comments, right? So it's hard to see through that. And I don't know if it's really a great use of marketing dollars, but maybe I'm not seeing everything. So definitely let me know what you guys think down below in the comments section of this video. I'm happy to chop it up. Look, I think that debate is good. It is healthy within the DeFi space, but what is not healthy is just going into my comments and just disagreeing with me for the fuck's sake, and without providing any proof. Or like, we can have a conversation. Like, my DMs are open. Just have a conversation. You can come into my Discord group. You can have access to ask me questions, whatever. I'm happy to chop it up with everybody, because at the end of the day, I think that together we are more successful. Everybody's ideas combined helps everyone understand the bigger picture. And when you close that off to, just saying, oh, well, just watch, Drip's going to go up. Well, why is it going to go? Why do you think that Drip is going to pump? Why are you so bullish on Drip? So that is my opinion on Drip. I mean, let me know what you guys think. Not only as it pertains to Drip, but as it pertains to, just your standard debate within the DeFi space. Curious to know what you guys think. But this video is run extremely long, almost 30 minutes, and I did not plan for it to be this long, but we had a lot of shit to talk about. So again, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel here. But when we talk about the overall truth within these protocols, the reality is that nobody really knows what's going to happen. We can speculate here and there, but at the end of the day, like, you have a 50, like, depending on what your view or what your opinion is, you have a 50% chance to be right or wrong. Either the price is going to go up, Drip pumps, or stable fund keeps going for years and years and years, or it doesn't, right? Like, there's a 50% probability that you're right or you're wrong. So, but in all likelihood, chances of, things working out the way that they plan on it, or the way that these protocols intend to, that doesn't always pan out. So that is going to be the end of today's video. Again, if you guys haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button if you could. If you got any value out of this video and all the information that we chatted about today, let me know down below in the comment section. Drop a like on the video, and we will catch you on the next one.